I'm Daniel, the past life regressionist, and it's time to begin.
Lift off and the clock has started.
This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy each of your time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Spirituality. Just want to start off by thanking everyone who reached out to me over the last week and gave me their feedback for the Season 3 theme, which is Recapturing the Magic. Just want you guys to know how much I appreciate your feedback and just how invested you are in this. It really means the world to me, so thank you guys so much. And I want to actually share one of those messages with you guys. And this is a message from Lauren Rose, and it goes as follows. Hi Daniel, I'm listening to the season premiere and the conversation around being jaded about talking to the higher self. I have a perspective I'd like to share with you. I think the goal for many of the practitioners born now is to integrate the magic and mystical into their everyday lives. The fact that talking to the higher self is like a Tuesday for you is something to be celebrated. The fact that this experience is so integrated into your everyday life is itself magical. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for sending me that message, and I couldn't agree with you more. So it's going to be a fun ride, you guys. It's going to be a fun ride on this journey to recapture the magic. And here's what's cool about it for me. That last episode, or the season premiere episode, was recorded back in August of 2022, and we are now in December. So I've had some time to think about the magic, recapturing it and what that means. And I have come to some conclusions over the last couple months, which are things that will be brought up in future episodes because I've already recorded almost most of the season at this point. But here's the real cool kicker. There's still a lot more for me to discover. So if you guys think of anything, just please send me a message. I'd love to get your feedback because, let's just call a spade a spade. You guys could very well see something that I'm not. So I need you guys on this one. And with today's episode, I went ahead and split this one into two parts. It was a long recording, but there was a lot of great stuff in here. And I feel that there is such amazing substance in the second half, or part two, that I didn't want to leave it as one because I just want to make sure everyone gets the full scope of it. So it's going to abruptly end at a certain point, and then we'll just pick up next week. So with that said, if you would like to book a regression with me to discover who, when, and where you have been throughout time, you can reach me on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist or my website, thepastliferegressionist.com. And now, it's time to begin. Eryn, thanks so much for being here. How you doing today?
Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Eryn.
Hey, old friend.
Hey, old friend.
Hey, new old friend. Old
Cheers.
New friend? Clinkies.
That'll make sense later.
Yeah, yes, it will. Okay, so you're going to let me talk about that, okay?
If you want to.
Of course I do.
Cool. Ready for the first question?
Yes.
What is your favorite song about time and why?
So I had a very different answer for this before I started the book, When, by Daniel Pink. I just started it this week, and it starts with this Miles Davis quote, "Time isn't the main thing, it's the only thing," which that quote just smacked me in the face. And for that, for me, that means sound and time are inexorably linked. And something may have perfect tone for 1 second, but if you let it go for an hour, it would be grating and literal torture. So I think that means that the time between the notes and the words is very intentional. And I think that has more to do with the impact of music than the actual notes and the arrangement of the words themselves. So music is just playing with time, which I know you as a songwriter will appreciate. So technically, I just want to say every song then is about time. So I don't know if you've ever thought of it that way, but so
I haven't.
Yeah. Every song is about time, Daniel.
Even area codes?
Yes, because place, you can't have place without time. Then yes. So while you digest that concept, my favorite song about time has less to do with time, but everything to do with timing. I don't know if you've heard the song When the Right One Comes Along by Striking Matches. It was on Nashville. If anybody listening is a fan of the show Nashville, it was one of my favorite shows, and it was a really big song for the show. But the people that actually wrote it, they're in a duo together, and I think they're in love, which makes it even cuter. And you can look them up on Spotify. They are Striking Matches, and it is all about how everything changes and how everything feels when the right one comes along.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
And also, I'm sure everyone has figured out at this point, Eryn is a musician. And Eryn is also the songwriter and artist of the song that you heard back with the Galila Collective episode. And what was the title, Before We Begin?
Before we begin. Before we begin, I'm so glad you said thank you for sharing, because I want to say I spent almost a decade in the Army, and really, you do these like really nice space holding things, and you say these things that make people and make me feel very safe on the podcast. But I want you to know that that phrase was co-opted in the military. So I had years of people only saying to me, thank you for sharing, and thank you for that, dripping in sarcasm. Or noted. People at work will say noted, and they don't know that in the military, noted means go fuck yourself. So I have had to condition myself through listening to your podcast that you are not making fun of me when you say thank you for sharing, because my initial inclination is to think that that's what you're saying when you say thank you for sharing that.
Comprende? I don't know what
I'm just letting you know it's a cultural difference, and I just want you to know that I've had to get used to it.
So I think this is one of those instances that really proves that you're always going to say the wrong thing no matter what the right thing is. I mean, even something as safe and simple as thank you for sharing is going to mean something else to someone. So thank you for bringing that up, because in a weird way, that's actually very comforting for me, because I know I piss people off left and right even when I don't intend to. And this just really shows that. So
yes.
Thank you for that. I mean, not
thank you.
I
think if you insult me, then that's a compliment. Anyway, I've been out for almost 10 years at this point, so we can put that behind us.
Well, now every time you hear me say, you may hear a moment of pause, even for future episodes as well.
Oh no, I broke Daniel.
Yeah, but maybe I'll think of something better.
Okay.
Maybe I'll create a new expression for.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'll think of something. But yes, I'm glad you shared that. All right, ready for the next question?
I'm ready.
Who is Eryn?
So for more than a year, I have actually asked myself that question every single morning when I wake up. But the way that I ask it is, okay, who showed up today and what do they need? Because I have no idea which version of me is going to show up every day. And I had no idea which version of myself would grace you with her presence on this podcast today. So since that changes every day, I will just tell you who the world consistently sees of me, and then we can get into who I actually am, through the stories and stuff. So I'm a mom to a 7-year-old girl. I'm a wife a couple times over. I'm a songwriter for almost a quarter century, and I work a job. Thank you. I work a job that I love for just enough hours a week that I have what I want and what I need, but not so much that I can't relax with the rest of my time. I'm a Western Libra and a Vedic Virgo, and that's basically it. There is nothing else to know about me other than those things.
Cool. I was about to say that expression again. Pizza.
I love it. Pizza.
So from here on out, that expression will be pizza. So everyone will know what I'm saying now when I say pizza.
I feel so, thank you. Pizza makes me feel very safe. So you've made this as safe a space as possible for me.
Veggie pizza. I like that face. That was a good face. That tells me everything. I mean, I'm just a cheese, and if I'm feeling adventurous, maybe some tomatoes and basil.
I actually do make a really good bell pepper pizza. So I guess I shouldn't, be too mean to veggie pizzas.
Is it just bell peppers, though?
No, it's bell peppers and cheese and spices and all sorts of good stuff. We are recording this at, it's afternoon for me. Did you have lunch? Because now we're just talking about pizza.
I embarked on a juice cleanse.
Oh.
Well, as we're recording this in early September of 2022, I recently got home from almost a month-long stay at a hotel.
Oh.
And when they have, I stayed in 2 different hotels. First one, I had to go downstairs for breakfast to purchase breakfast every time. And they have bagels that they would put in with the omelet. So I would eat them. Then the second hotel that I stayed at had a continental breakfast. And the continental breakfast didn't have much other than carbs. And I love carbs. So I'd be loading up plates. I'd get 2 to 3 bagels every day. I'd get waffles. I'd get muffins. I'd get a bowl of cereal.
I didn't know this was that kind of podcast, but okay, keep going.
I was loading up on carbs. So now that I'm back home, and the second part of it is even when I got back home, I didn't have my kitchen right away because there still was work being done on my kitchen. So I put on a couple pounds. So that's why I'm doing the juice cleanse.
Okay, well, my sincerest condolences.
Jump starting. Oh, it's so stupid. Why am I doing this? This is stupid.
Okay, let's establish for everybody right now that, I think everybody knows you're in LA. I'm from LA. So I was born and raised maybe 15 minutes from where Daniel is currently sitting. Mm-hmm. And so I think we get it that the LA juice cleanse, that's naturally what you do. That's just what you do.
Yeah, I don't recognize myself when I look in the mirror. Who are you? Yeah. Yeah, okay.
What would happen if you did a regression on a juice cleanse? Does that hinder or help you?
I don't think it'd make a difference.
Really? Oh, I
Personally,
can't work when I'm hungry.
Oh, you mean if I were to personally do it?
Yeah.
Or facilitate?
Yeah, you were facilitating a regression on a juice cleanse.
I'm only recording for these 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't want to do that for regression because, I need to show up and look, as you saw, my mind naturally went to food. So I can't be thinking about food during a regression. Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. All the questions to the higher self would just be, hey, higher self, what's your favorite pizza?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm heavily Taurus.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah. Yes, you are.
Comfort food. Yeah. That's why it was great to have that spread of all those carbs. I'm like, well, I'll just deal with this once I get home.
You know what? September Daniel has to deal with this. August Daniel does not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actions have consequences.
They do. They do, in fact.
Mm-hmm. And they have this really good...
Sometimes not in this life.
This is true. Hopefully the consequences of my hotel stay are just relegated to this life because they had this really good chicken pesto sandwich also in the restaurant downstairs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd go downstairs for dinner and I get a chicken pesto sandwich. But I would swap out the fries with a greens salad.
Daniel, none of us are going to judge you if you had the fries. You're safe here.
I had the fries once.
Okay. See? Didn't that feel good to say that?
Oh, I have no problem saying I do the fries. But the reason that the fries came that one time is because I had ordered the salad instead. Uh-huh. But they brought the fries and I said, oh, it's supposed to be the salad. They're like, okay, we'll go grab that for you. And then they're like, you can keep the fries. I'm like, okay. So before the salad got back, of course I devoured the fries.
You're like, who am I to question Providence?
Yeah, that's the universe,
in the form
right?
of French fries. The universe was delivering unto you French fries.
Like, well, if they're there, that's my whole thing with with the buffet in the morning, or it wasn't a buffet. I would be in trouble if it was a buffet. But since it was just a continental breakfast, I'm like, it's there.
Yeah.
That's why when you look at my kitchen at home, my refrigerator or my cabinet, you're just going to see boring food. It's just really boring because I can't keep anything here because I'll eat it. The best analogy I can give you, or best example, I don't know if it's an analogy. I don't know, maybe it is. You know Goldfish crackers?
Yeah, I have a 7-year-old, so they're in my car. They're so delicious. Goldfishes. Yeah, they're in my hair. They're in my head. Yeah.
They're actually in your hair? Do you get the crackers in your
hair? Have you
hair?
met a tiny child? They will get whatever is in their hands in your hair.
I'd be thinking about goldfish. Okay, that's not a good one. That's because juice cleanse is really slowing me down. So with the goldfish, they have the little 2.5 ouncer or 2.25 ounces at Target in the little box.
Right.
Like the really little one. And then they have the gallon jug.
Right.
Yeah. If I ever allow myself to eat goldfish, I can only get the little box because I'm going to eat the whole box. So it doesn't matter if it's the little one or the big ass gallon one. I'm going to eat the gallon. I will eat it until it's gone. That will be my meals for breakfast and lunch because I can devour that quickly.
This might just be the Libra in me talking, but did you know they make a size in between those two sizes?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying like it.
Okay. And they make the fun flavors in those middle sizes. Did you know there's Parmesan goldfish? Did you know there's pizza goldfish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I'm going to eat it. That's the problem. Yeah. So I have to go for the smallest box. That's my self-control.
Can I tell one tale on my daughter since she's not going to come up at all during the regression conversation? This is for you, Abby. She eats, her favorite meal to have is goldfish in yogurt. And that is what she eats 7 times a week, is goldfish in yogurt. And I don't your face right now. I don't recommend it, but you have touched a nerve, my friend.
Why did I have to bring up goldfish?
I don't know.
I'm just craving those things now. And the worst thing is if I'm doing this juice cleanse, I can't just go eat goldfish after because that defeats the whole purpose.
Right.
This was kind of to jumpstart me laying off carbs for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, of course. So it feels a little different. Well, welcome everyone to Daniel's food podcast.
I'm going to be so moody for the next couple. Yeah, that was fun. Well, last question with that. When you say yogurt, is it yogurt or frozen yogurt?
It is berry Chobani yogurt.
Is it like the tart one?
Yes.
I forgot the yogurt. Face. They had that at the continental breakfast as well, the blueberry ones. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was having that. And then sometimes they'd have the Yoplait. It was either that or...
Oh, that's just like pure sugar.
Yeah. That's why I'm doing... It was fun while it lasted. I did enjoy it. I had this mischievous grin on my face. And
When do you get to eat real food again?
I mean, I can eat whenever I want.
Oh, but there's no like target time, like I have to make it to Sunday at noon.
I spent more than I'm happy admitting on this 3-day juice cleanse.
Uh-huh.
I did the math. It came out to $7 a bottle, a little over $7. I'm like,
oh, that's what it is if you get it at Whole Foods or something.
Yeah, well, I also have a juicer. So like that's just a lot of work. That's a lot of store. And then, so I'm
this is a very LA conversation. I like it.
Yeah. This was
Thanks.
Fun.
You're making me feel at home.
Thanks, Eryn. Thanks.
No problem, dude.
And at this point, I would eat the goldfish in the blueberry tart Chobani yogurt. How many does she put in there?
17.
Oh, so it's a decent amount.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a fair bit.
I honestly, I won't stop if I don't stop.
Okay.
So pizza. Pizza for sharing. Why is it that you wanted to have a regression?
So that I could eat foods in other times. No. So it brings me so much joy when I hear stories of people who've been able to come to past life regression from just a place of curiosity or exploration. But that's not the truth for me. And anybody who's familiar with your podcast, I mean, I don't know. I listened to your podcast completely out of order. I would just follow my intuition and be like, that one looks fun. So I might over explain things, or if I mention a previous guest, I might say that, because it is entirely possible that there is a person out there for whom this is their first time listening. If they listened beyond the food conversation and they're still going, I just want to say thank you for listening. But if they're not familiar, go back and listen. Yes, pizza for listening.
If I got to do it, it's only fair, right? Reciprocity there.
If this is your first episode, I see you. And you should go listen to how Daniel came into this work, because in truth, Daniel, my story is a lot like your story. I was in deep pain, and all of Western medicine and psychology and religion had failed to cure me. So I like to say, when I was thinking about who I am, I like to say that I'm recovering. And I'm going to throw some rapid fire things right out at the top. So whoever is listening can find a little piece of themselves to connect with, or a piece of something they're curious about. So I am a recovering evangelical Christian, libertarian, Southern Californian, recovering serial monogamist, sometimes non-monogamist, recovering sexual trauma survivor, both as a very young child and as an adult, war trauma survivor, workplace shooting survivor, and a recovering risk seeker and workaholic. Gee, maybe to deal with all that trauma, do you think? So mostly I'm recovering from clinging to all of those pieces and labels for a really long time. So here I was this time last year, summer, fall 2021, just about to turn 36 years old, and saying, I have to try something else. I'm in so much pain. And for 24 years, I've been in pain every day, and there has to be an answer. So with all that I just mentioned, it's no surprise that PTSD has been a big part of my life and my story. And when I say that, people assume that I mean from the war. And yes, that is technically correct. But several years ago, when I went to a therapy retreat in Tennessee called Onsite, they taught us that overwhelmingly veterans that they studied there over several cycles who volunteered to serve in Iraq and Afghanistan, or even if they didn't serve in combat and they just joined the military at all, overwhelmingly, those types of people had undealt with childhood trauma. And that was definitely the case for me. But because the trauma started so early, and it was such a persistent theme of my childhood, with surviving sexual abuse at age 4 by an educator, and whatever I will term it right now, which Daniel has challenged me on, calling it a psychotic break. It wasn't really that, but we'll talk about that at the age of 12. And because I was a high achiever, my symptoms were all lumped together as PTSD. And it wasn't until I was about 34 that I said, I've been doing this for so long, this can't be all there is. And it took 2 years of trying on and taking off these diagnoses from Western practitioners. Like, one said I might have Tourette's. And frankly, they all turned me away at some point or another when I described what I was going through over the course of a day. And one really renowned psychologist here in the capital area said, I've never heard of what you're going through. I'm sorry. Maybe this center down the road can help you. And, for a really renowned psychologist to say that they've never heard of what I'm going through, that was really, really disheartening. And in a moment of desperation and weakness, I turned to Reddit and people were like, get a brain scan. I'm like, you don't understand. I've tried everything. But despite all that, I promised myself that I would never shut up about it, because I figured I can't be the only one. There has to be one other human on the face of the planet who knows what this pain is like. So before we get to regression, part of the equation was, getting a proper diagnosis for ADHD and last year, which meant a lot to me, because now we could separate the two things out. We can treat my PTSD like PTSD. We can treat my ADHD like ADHD. And then there's whatever the rest of the pain is, then it allowed me to just focus in on that. And I'll explain it, but there's this phantom pain that has dominated almost every day of my life for 24 years. So when I first came to you through the Religious Trauma Regression Workshop in March 2022 with Sophia Spallino, who's amazing, a good friend of the podcast. The thing, as I mentioned before, that I was calling it to make it palatable, because I don't know how to explain it, was a psychotic break. And you instantly challenged me on that. I was like, I don't think you had a psychotic break. And I was like, I don't either, but I don't have another word for it because Western medicine. But here's what happened, and I'll give a trigger warning at the appropriate time for anybody who doesn't want to listen to this part. But not yet. I'll tell you when. So I was watching the movie Last of the Mohicans in 7th grade, which is an R-rated movie in a history class at a Christian school. Like, who approved that? Like, Daniel, you were in 5th grade when you saw Roots?
Yeah.
What is it with our history? Anyway, okay, more on that later. And so there's this traumatic scene that I won't describe in detail, but someone gets burned at a stake. Other things happen to other people that were equally awful. And as I watched it, I got flooded with pain and fear. And it was like this switch was flipped that nobody could turn off, least of all me. And in the moment, I hid it fairly well from my classmates. And they thought I was really weird anyway. But over the next few days, I couldn't get the images and the screams from the movie out of my mind. And it was dominating my consciousness completely. But then it got so much worse. And I started to feel what happened in the movie happened to various parts of my body. So I was feeling pain that wasn't actually there. But I was reacting as though it was. I was wincing, I was yelping, I was moaning. Okay, so here's the part. If you are not squeamish, stick around. And if you are, trigger warning, skip ahead 30 seconds now. So what I felt was someone gouging out my eyes or running a knife across my throat or tearing at my ribs or flames at my feet or my toenails being torn out. And I think we're safe. I felt this almost every minute of every day. And I was 13 years old. I was a baby. And at the time, I was an evangelical Christian, and I had been. I was born to pastors. Like, that was what my path was. And I thought, oh, this is the Lord testing me. That's got to be what this is. And I told my mom and my stepdad, and they didn't know what to do. They'd never heard of it. So they took it to the pastors, and the pastors said, yes, absolutely. This is the Lord allowing demons to test your daughter with this pain that doesn't actually exist. Which, now that I say that out loud, how did nobody say get this girl to a psychiatrist or something? But nobody did. But the pastor said that if I was faithful and I kept my faith, and if they did some exorcisms, then I would be cured. And they tried many times over the course of a year, but I was not cured, and it got a lot worse. And I considered taking my own life at 14 because the pain was so bad. And it was so hard to focus just on my schoolwork during the day. But I couldn't do it. Thank goodness. And I don't find it to be coincidence at all that that's around the same time that I discovered music. And I picked up the guitar for good after trying it many times in my childhood to impress my dad. It never really stuck. But to get me out of the pain, guitar and songwriting was one of the only things I could do that would make it subside. So after several years of this, some days it got better, and I'd only feel these pains once or twice an hour, and then it would get worse again. And it was once or twice a minute. And I would do anything I could to distract myself from it. So somehow, through years in the Army and marriage and divorce and college at UCLA, and then working at the highest levels of government, through becoming a mom, every single day of my life since I was 13, I've lived with this intense pain. And I found ways to cope, or I explain the reactions away, to colleagues. If I wince during a meeting, I just say it's something else, or, I hurt my whatever. And I wear scarves. That helps a lot. I wear socks all the time. That helps a lot too. And I'm really glad I didn't know it was going to last this long, because I think if I had known it was going to last this long, I would have pieced out. But we can endure so much more than we think we can, I think. So at the time that I met you in March of 2022, that's where I was. And I still believed in healing. And I was at the point where I was willing to go outside of Christianity and outside of psychology and Western medicine to get my healing. So why I wanted a regression and why I wanted one with you are two kind of different things. But I'll pause there to ask if you have any questions or just want to thank me for sharing.
Pizza for sharing.
Pizza for sharing.
Well, are you going to touch on the quote unquote psychotic break, or is it okay if I jump in on that part?
Oh, jump in. What more do you want to know?
Well, I think what happened with that, where the challenge came, is, what was it that I said? I'm like, I don't think you had the psychotic break. I think they did.
Yeah, that is what you said.
Like what?
Yeah.
Just the lunacy of that process. Oh, it's the demons, and we're going to exorcise. Is it excise them? Is that the
exorcise?
Exorcise them out of you, and it's you not having faith. I don't know why they have that accent, but they do in my mind.
Yeah.
I could keep going on, but to me, that was a psychotic break, not what you were experiencing. But I mean, then again, for me, this is my world.
Yeah.
So I don't default to crazy. At least
Yeah.
I don't think I do. But, you know. So I'm just thinking, yeah, this, what? Why are you the crazy one?
Yep. And I mean, my mother lives with us now, and through living with us, we've had a ton of opportunity to mend all those wounds, and she has gone through her own break with Christianity and traditional Christianity, and she's had an opportunity to say, I'm so sorry I failed you in that moment. You really needed me. And I almost tear up as I talk about it, because she and I are such good friends now, and I don't feel like she thinks I'm crazy, or that, I just feel very accepted by her. And that was so hard, because I did need someone to not tell me that this was the Lord testing me, which now in retrospect, I don't believe at all. I don't believe that for a minute. But at the time, we have the story of Job in the Bible being tested by God, and he's among the most faithful. And evangelical Christianity, especially in the 90s, definitely equated suffering with righteousness. And there was no reason that had to be the case for me.
I'm not very knowledgeable about the Bible, so I could be butchering this reference right now, but you sound a lot more like Jonah to me.
Oh, yeah. Mind blown. Anyone who doesn't get that reference, look up Jonah and the whale.
Yeah, that's the one. I think I got that right.
Yeah, that sounds a lot more apt, for sure. And so I'm going to dub this past year my Jonah and the whale year, because it felt many times like I was in sort of a void of not knowing where to go next. That felt a lot like that, just being in the complete darkness and having to be okay with it, and knowing that even if I felt like I wasn't moving forward, something was still moving me forward. So now I'm going to say that's the whale. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. So, okay, moving on from this to get into the good stuff. I know what you're all here for, because I'm here for it too. Pizza. I had trained this is going to sound weird. I trained my TikTok algorithm and my Instagram algorithm, and I asked them, I have notifications off on social media, so I'm only going in if I want to engage with other people's creations and knowledge. And so I asked my algorithm, please bring me that which will nourish me and help me during this really freaking weird time. And one night, the algorithm gods delivered unto me someone talking about the book Journey of Souls by Michael Newton, and something in me cracked in the best way. And I got this whoosh. I get chills right now just thinking about it. And I didn't have patience for 2-day shipping, and I downloaded it right away. And when I tell you, I mentioned before I have ADHD. I am not the kind of person who sits down and reads a book. I finished this book in 2 days. 2 days. I read the whole thing. And it was like remembering things that I had forgotten. You've read it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like foundational to what we're talking about here. So there were things in this book.
I'll highly recommend reading that book for anyone listening.
It's incredible. So good. Please, if you're just starting out, it's such a good book to start with. Because in this book, there were things it talked about on the other side, or in the life between lives, that I used to talk about as a very young child. I have memories at 4, 5, and 6 talking about these things, these concrete visuals that he talked about. But because there was no biblical proof, people made me stop talking about it. So I read that, and it was like my eyes flew open, and I just looked around like, fuck, well, now what? Like, where do I go? What do I do? So I've been here. Okay, I believe now. I've been here before. But what do I do now? How do I find? The internet is a blessing and a curse, because it should be what my boss calls a golden age of information, has also turned into just a wasteland. And so I didn't want to Google or start with anything. I just said, maybe there's someone out there. But in a moment of desperation, I downloaded like an $8 self-guided regression, and I had zero expectations, because it's my first try by myself. Why would anything happen? But it was one of the most powerful things I'd ever experienced to that point. And at this point, it's like November 2021. So that's what, 4 or 5 months before we met.
Mm-hmm.
And I experienced a self-hypnosis back to what I perceive was my most risk-free past life. And it was revealed to me that I had experienced something so painful in a life prior to that, that I asked for a life with no pain and no risk, which also meant no love and no joy and no connection, and no one from my soul family was there. I was completely alone by myself in this life. And I was completely separated from everyone I'd ever had a life with before. And I died peacefully in my bed in 1901 as an old woman who had lived through like the Civil War in North Carolina, and none of it affected me. I just stayed out of all of it. And I mean, I lived for an unusually long time with no connection and no love. And on the day I died, my guide was waiting for me at the end of this life. And she just had this look on her face. Now, I'd never met her before. Keep in mind, this is my first time meeting her. And she just had this look on her face like, well, did you get what you wanted? And I just said to her, after feeling the release of death, I just went, please don't ever let me do that ever again. And she said, don't worry, I won't. And the session ended with the most intense ringing in my ears and just sobs of relief. And I wanted to go deeper, but I didn't want to go there by myself. And so I still have, that is the only time I've used that regression meditation, because I think I was scared. I think I was afraid that that magic or whatever it is was just like a one-time admittance only, and I wouldn't be able to access it again. And so I also just didn't want to be alone for the next one. And it was just 40 minutes. And I thought, you know what, if there's someone who's more practiced at this, maybe they can really help me go deeper. And so I chose you, or you chose me, or I don't know how any of it works, but I mentioned that we had that workshop in March of 2022 that you and Sophia put on. What was it called? Healing Religious Trauma?
We go for religious indoctrination.
Right. Yeah. Yes, absolutely was. So what's weird, and this is the algorithm again, I mentioned before, I don't have social notifications on. And so I just had my phone down, and I got this gut feeling like, check Instagram. And I'm like, what? And I'm trying to be better about not being on my phone and not being on social. Check Instagram. And it was like, check Instagram. And I opened Instagram and it said you were live. And I actually didn't know you. I didn't know anything about you. I must have followed you at some point. And I clicked on it, and you and Sophia were talking. And I just felt so instantly drawn to both of you. And like, you could have told me that the workshop was like 3 times the cost and I would have signed up, but you made it so affordable and accessible to everybody. So in that workshop, I shared my story with you about the movie and about the pain that I was in. And one of my best friends was also in that workshop as well, which will become significant in a moment. So you regressed us. Some people saw a past life. I saw what I needed to see out of this life. But that was an opportunity for you and me to build trust together. And so after the session was over, the friend who was there said, wait, the story you told about the movie, did you read Daniel's bio? And I said, no, I actually don't really know anything about Daniel. Other than I guess he's the past life regressionist. And she said he experienced something similar with a movie. And I went, what? I've been like, Daniel, I had been looking for you for 23 years. And so when I read your bio, I started crying, and I just knew, I mean, already we had that basis of trust, but I knew you were the person that I wanted to go to this deeper level with, and have a real, honest to goodness, 5-hour session. So I never lost faith that I would find you, and I did.
I'm glad you did. And pizza for sharing. And the irony of all that is, just like you said earlier, we only lived 15 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
And we're the same age.
Yep. And we're the same age. So, like, who knows if we were at, like, the same high school sport? I mean, driving down Sherman Way.
Our paths must have crossed at one time or another.
They must have. Maybe our guides could show us at some point. That would be really cool.
Before we go forward, there's one thing I'd like to inquire about.
Yes.
You mentioned that in that life, the risk-free one, that you were alone.
Yeah.
Were you?
I had a family. But I didn't have any souls that I knew. They let me be like an exchange student with some other soul family. And I had a family. I mean, the sister that I had in that life had kids. And when I died upstairs. I lived in her, not her attic, but, I was like the weird aunt in the second floor who never got married. Mm-hmm. And yeah. And I even, at one point, I did feel like I loved someone, like I was attracted to someone who didn't even really know I existed, and I saw him get lynched, and that was the end of that. And so I just thought, okay, I guess, love isn't for me. But even in that moment of seeing him die, I almost felt nothing. And so in that whole life, I experienced things, but I felt nothing.
While I'm on board with what you're saying right now, I feel like this is for someone else.
Okay.
You're not alone. Because what I'm hearing you also say is that you died peacefully in your bed, and that you may not have been with your soul family, but you weren't alone, and it wasn't a painful death.
No, it was peaceful in my sleep.
So there's someone I'm speaking to right now. I don't know who it is, but you're not alone.
Yeah.
Because I know what you're thinking. Wait, let me back up on that one. I believe I know what you're thinking.
Yes.
I believe
I have chills as you're talking. And I would like to say to whoever this is for, I think I made a choice to isolate myself. And I had a choice to un-isolate myself. And I had a choice to reach out. And I chose not to in that life. And so we all still have a choice.
Mm-hmm. So please, whoever's listening to this right now, you know who you are. Please have that be the takeaway.
Yeah.
I hope that really sinks in. I hope the tone isn't too, this is what you should do. But you're not alone. This it sounds like a special circumstance.
Yeah.
And even with that special circumstance, it wasn't horrific or bad.
Right. And I think it's really beautiful that even though I was making a decision that would ultimately delay my healing, I was still given that choice, and I still got to I was in the driver's seat. If I had gotten in that life and halfway through went, this is bullshit, then I could have reached out, and I bet I could have moved. I bet I could have found, whoever was there at the same time. I believe that I had any cornucopia of choices to me, and I made that choice to keep myself isolated.
Cool.
Yeah.
Pizza for letting me jump in there.
Yeah, for sure.
What you got? Where were we?
We got to the end of, I guess now we're at June 30th, 2022, when I'm very nervous to have a regression with Daniel. or the few days before that, when I was laboring over the questions and then I asked myself in a meditation, do we have any messages for Daniel? And I thought, yeah.
So June 30th, I'd say was an important big day. I think for me, June 28th was an even bigger day.
Why? Why is that?
Because that's the day when you sent me your song.
Oh, I forgot when I sent it to you.
Eryn's song, at least my interpretation of it, was it's you speaking with your higher self about this experience that was on the horizon. And as I brought up on the show, this is my world. I'm very used to talking to higher selves. It's just another Tuesday for me, even if it's a Thursday. And I've been doing it for a while now. So the magic had been fading for me a bit. And I don't want to say I felt rudderless, but I didn't have the same awe and wonder as I did when I first started. And since it became so second nature to me, I didn't realize what an impact it was having on people. That I was so fortunate to be in this place where I was able to facilitate a space where people could reconnect with their higher selves. Something that I believe everyone has the capacity to do in their normal waking state, or if they just take a few minutes to sit with themselves. But sometimes you just need a little jump start. So Eryn's song reminded me of the magnitude of what I was doing. And as you guys have heard recently, I'm still working on recapturing the magic. But I believe that listening to her song for the first time really started to set me on that path. So this was a big thing for me too. So I want to pizza you for that.
Oh, pizza you for that.
Pizza you, Eryn.
What's really funny is you told me some of that leading up, but we went into the regression like you not fully imparting the impact, which was good because then, you really held the space for me while also being really excited about this transformation for you. And what you didn't realize is that then when you put the song on the podcast, at the end of it, you said, "Wasn't that amazing?" And I forgot to mention, she wrote that song. And I just went, "Oh, is that a special thing?" So you didn't even know that you helped me recapture the magic of like, oh, songs are magic. And I make them every single day. And I do. I've written every single day, whether it's a portion of a song or lyrics or whatever, or a whole song. Those happen relatively frequently. I've written every day for the past 5 years. And when you just do it and you show up, whether or not you feel like it, it makes room for the magic. And so I thought I was coming to you for healing. And to get to deliver you a gift like that, yeah, there are no words except pizza.
Pizza. I'm eternally grateful. And I mean, now, yeah, I'm going to stick the song at the end of this episode too.
Oh, you.
So everyone just hang on for that one.
Oh.
It's coming. We are now at June 30th, 2022.
Yes. The day that changes everything. So if you haven't had a regression before, or you haven't had a regression with Daniel, there's this nice time in the beginning to connect. I won't say how long mine was, but Daniel, I imagine that was rather long.
It was on the longer side.
It was on the longer side. I've lived many lifetimes in this one life. I haven't passed up a lot of opportunities that have come in this life, so there was a lot to explain. There was a lot of pain, but there was also a lot of joy and a lot of adventure. And I didn't want to just talk about the pain. I wanted to talk about all of it. And so he held that space for me. And then I was more, you had regressed me once before to this life, but I was having a little bit of trouble going under, especially because we saw 2 lives. And the first one, we opened the door and it was just pitch black. Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
It was just pitch black. And you're like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Am I in a womb? I have no idea. But I felt stone under my feet and my feet were bare. And I knew that I was a girl, like probably preteen, teens. And I knew I was pissed off. And that's all I knew. I didn't know why I was in the dark or why I couldn't leave. So you're like, "Oh, okay, let's go to another significant day." And what I ended up getting to see was some really lovely scenes in a life as an Indigenous woman I researched it, and what would now be Arizona, New Mexico side of the Mexican border. But this was well before America. Well before. And yeah, we saw some scenes from my life with this tribe, including this very handsome warrior who looked familiar, so familiar to me, but I couldn't place him. And I got to see something that I've never seen in this life, which was the sky, the night sky, completely without light pollution. I'm from Los Angeles, so like seeing an actual star in the sky was super weird. So getting to see all of the stars in the sky was just such a lovely memory. And I'm glad I have that memory, because then the next memory sucked. And yeah, my tribe went from, this beautiful place that we'd lived for, who knows how long, to on the run. And we were running from something. And in the midst of this chaos, it must have been a pretty decent jump in time, because I had a son who was a few weeks old and he wouldn't stop crying. And I was sleep deprived and I was beyond hungry. And the tears, literal tears, physical tears were coming out of my face while laying down on the bed. And I was just exhausted from being on the move in this unfamiliar part of the desert, and my warrior wasn't there. I knew he was somewhere else looking for the people who were chasing us, and I didn't know who was chasing us. So we were completely defenseless, and we had to keep going. And I wanted to wait for the warriors, but we couldn't. And the men who were pursuing us found us, and they circled us, and they had these weapons that I didn't recognize. I Eryn, recognized them, but whoever I was then did not recognize them. And they shot us. They shot me through the throat, and I didn't die right away. And they killed my son for sport as I was bleeding out. And it was a hilarious situation for them. They were laughing and making fun of me as I was dying. And we spent some time healing that. And what surprised me in that was the whiplash of feelings. In the happiness, seeing the night sky, sorrow like I have almost never felt in this life at being killed, and the person that I love most is nowhere to be found to protect me. And then as I left that body and I could see myself, 20 feet above the body, there was just this, it was like a heavy peace and a light peace at the same time. It was like this resigned peace. And so that whiplash of feelings was crazy, just in the best way of all of a sudden just letting it go and doing the work that we needed to do to heal that throat wound. And later on, I researched the uniforms and I saw the soldiers wearing. And sure enough, they were the uniforms of Francisco Coronado's army and the Spanish conquistadors who tore through the American Southwest in the 1500s. And now, of course, I didn't know when we were. I only sort of knew where we were. And so it was interesting for me, not being familiar with that part of history, to go back and research it and go, oh, what I saw was real. That's interesting. So that was hard enough. And I mean, that was really hard to witness. And you were so respectful of my energy and asking if I wanted to continue and do some more work on the throat. And I surprised the hell out of myself by saying, yep, let's go. I'm here for it. Like, we're already under, let's go. So was there anything, before I tell about the second life, was there anything that stood out to you, Daniel?
I'm pretty sure you asked the question during the higher self portion about the last of the Mohicans, right?
Yeah, I did.
That was the link, wasn't it?
Sort of. She said yes, but she also said there's more there. And she says she has seen this from both sides. So what that, I got chills as I said it. So what that implies to me is that I have been the soldiers laughing as I kill someone, and I have been the victim of that. Mm-hmm. And that was interesting to me because, I mean, I'm sure at some point I'm going to see some lives where I've done things that I'm not proud of. There's things in this life I've done that I'm not proud of.
Me too.
Yeah, right? Like our future selves looking back at us talking about pizza on this podcast. But yeah, she said that is one piece. It is the piece most relevant to what you asked today, which when we came in and the theme of the two lives that we saw was the throat and healing around this inexplicable tension that I have in this life around my throat and around singing and around all these different things. But the most persistent one was the throat. So we said, all right, let's tackle the throat today if the higher self deems it so. And the other interesting thing was we asked the higher self, was the warrior anyone that she knew? And it is my husband from this life. And he is very much a protector for his day-to-day job. And he does not believe in any of this stuff, but he believes in me. And he is in support of anything that facilitates my healing. And he has seen, I'm actually going to share a little tidbit with you, Daniel, that you don't know about. 2 days after the regression, we had a fight. And he said, you're exploring all of these new things that I don't understand. And I feel like you're distant from me. I feel like you're moving away. And I said, that's bullshit. Are you kidding me? I just saw us together under the stars I just saw our son. Like, are you kidding me? I've never felt closer or more connected to you than I do in this moment. And you're telling me you feel distant from me? And he broke down and he just said, I'm sorry. I think I just said it to see if you would say it too, to see if you also felt distant, that this healing is taking you away from me. And it was a shock to him that it's not. That even though I am exploring some ideas that he's really unfamiliar with, I'm exploring some ideas that a lot of people in my life wouldn't be familiar with. But it is bringing me closer to him, and it's bringing me closer to myself. And I think there's nothing more romantic than the fact that he couldn't protect me in that life, and that we came back to do this again together. And he protects me on the daily in this one. And I've never felt safer or happier than I do with him. So that's romantic. So I was like, I'm not accepting that. No way. Kind of like when Genie is in the cave with Aladdin and says, you're getting your wishes, so sit down. It was that kind of moment. And then ever since then, we've been okay. And I promised him, I said, look at the proof. The more I do these things, the happier I am, the more pleasant I am to be around. My anger, my PTSD, like all of the things that I have said are part of my story and that were controlling me are not controlling me anymore.
Yeah, that's poetry right there. Pizza for sharing.
Pizza for share. Thank you. Pizza for listening.
Wait, why do you get to say it, but I can't?
What?
The other thing for pizza.
What, pizza for? Oh, no, I said thank you. Because thank you for listening isn't quite the same.
Oh, okay. It's just sharing.
Yeah, it's just sharing.
Okay. Oh,
You know
that's
what?
cool then.
We should regress you to a life in a that you were a soldier in a military company or something, and you'll see what I mean.
It was a little different then.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, yeah, I remember you talking about that one.
Which one?
You were like the badass.
You got to be more specific than that.
Oh yeah, fair point. Okay, to be fair, I've seen 3 of these. You've seen 100.
I don't know if I've seen 100. I mean, I've seen a decent amount though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's cool though.
Should we talk about the other one?
Yeah.
All right.
That was another illuminating one.
Oh my God. Okay. So the theme of the day is throat.
By the way,
Yeah.
when the second one came, well, the first one wasn't heavy enough.
Oh my God.
I remember thinking during the second one, like, Jesus Christ. Wow. She's enduring a lot today.
I think you said something along the lines of, that wasn't like the hardest first one, but that was definitely one of the hard. So I don't want people to be scared and think that, oh, if I go, I'm going to see something that I can't recover from. Like, I was ready to see that.
Exactly.
I was ready. I was there to do the work. If I had wanted to see like puffy clouds and rainbows, that's exactly what I would have seen. But I wanted to do the work.
Yeah. I mean, it was just right there, jumped into it. You were determined from the get-go.
Yeah.
But there's also a difference between being determined and being determined. There's a lot of people.
Which was I?
You were determined. Because a lot of people are determined, but they're not really. They think that they are, but they're not quite there yet, which is okay, because then they just get what they can handle or what. Well, it's like I like to say for the process. You don't get what you want, you get what you need.
Yep.
And you handled it like a champ. And I think you even mentioned it there, that after the first life, I think I said, would you like to explore? Was it more of a release or something else? Or was it?
I think you said something along the lines of, is that all you'd like to do? Or would you like to to go on?
Yeah, because I was heavy. That was a heavy one. Yeah. And that's kind of also my way of giving the nod to the higher self. Even though I believe that the higher self knows, it's like, hey, let's put this in her hands right now, in her being Eryn. And that was a super heavy one that got dragged out for a while. So if she feels ready for more, then this is up to her. This is in her control. So you were ready for more. We'll put it that way.
So the tears on my face were not even dry from the first life. And we jump into life number 2. But I was ready. I was like,
you were ready.
I said, let's go.
Right. Like, this is still, I want to preface this again for everyone. She was ready.
I've got some questions and I don't know which ones are mine. I want it to seem like I'm trying to skip my place in line, but I've done some thinking and I don't know what's on my mind. And I'm ready, but I'm not ready. I know you know me better than I do, and I'm as curious as I'm scared of the truth. So before we begin, I just want to impact on the surface, and I don't know just how deep it goes. I trust you to tell me if you think I ought to know. And I'm ready, but I'm not ready. I know you love me better than I do, and I'm as curious as I'm scared of the truth. So before we begin, I just want to say thank you. And I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a session with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.